Good afternoon again, friends, followers and channel members. Welcome to our third afternoon stream in a row. Not quite sure how I've been lucky enough to get away with this so far this week, but for those of you that are working, it's nice to be able to pass the time with a nice flight somewhere, isn't it? And today we are in Italy, heading down to Corfu. So yeah, looking forward to this flight, Milan to Corfu. I actually can't recall if we've landed at Corfu before either, so it's a potential another new destination for us. The summer months are ahead of us, so there could be plenty of new destinations as we seek to hunt out new real-life flights. This is another real-life flight. In fact, I think this one is already airborne and on its way, to be honest, if anyone checks Flight Radar 24. So our call sign today is 97 Uniform Victor. I've had better. We don't have any custom scenery here for Milan, which is a shame. I've not actually managed to find one. I don't know if there is one available. Perhaps there is a payware one, which I've not come across, but I'll have to check that out. But we do have some great freeware scenery for Corfu as well when we get down there. So looking forward to checking that out on arrival. The operational flight plan is pinned into the chat if you're watching on YouTube. Hello to our Twitch viewers as well. So yeah. Good to see you all for the third day on the trot. You can get away with all sorts when you're in the house on your own, can't you? Weather here is looking beautiful, isn't it? Really nice in Milan. Hopefully it'll be something similar as we head towards the Greek Isles. Corfu, I think there's a potential of some towering cumulus clouds, but that's pretty standard, I think, for this time of year. Barry Bartson, member for 10 months. Thank you so much, Barry, for your continued support of the channel. Great to have you. Great to have you on board. Plane spotting northwest. Nick FB, Simon, David. Good to see you guys. J-Hog, hi mate. Hope the landing in Naples is well, let's say less bumpy than yesterday. Dreely, good to see you. Hi mate. Elevator music, yeah. Harry H, Helm, and Mike, good afternoon to you. Stella, hello. Which airports do I recommend to fly to? Oh, where would you begin with that? That's a discussion for the cruise. Rotafib, good morning to you. Danny, good afternoon. Right, let's get on board, shall we? So we've got our aircraft here currently sat in a turnaround state. Let's go ahead and see what fuel we're going to tell the guys to load. Here's the operational flight plan. Is Flight Life Studio giving duff information? Oh, not only is it giving duff information, it's also giving the wrong call sign. Goodness me, come on Fly Life, get it right. Let me just change that. It's got the wrong call sign, isn't it? Alpine 97 Uniform Victor. Okay, that should be updated and be giving you the proper information now. I better check this flight, this OFP, make sure I'm doing the right flight. Am I? Yeah, Milan to Corfu. Wonderful. Flight level 290, that's inaccurate. We're actually going to cruise today at flight level 390, minus 47, tailwind of 35, that's good. We have another school run to complete at 3:15 local time, 14:15 Zulu time. So planning block is 6.1. And if we just go through, check out the route, you can see here we're going to climb up and be at flight level 390 on our way. Weather here is lovely. Weather in Corfu, we have a ceiling of 2,000, visibility of 3,000. That's all right. And then if we have a look at the destination TAF, we've got well, at the moment winds 150 at 15 knots. Ooh, could we potentially see an arrival on runways at 16? Maybe, we'll have to see. So temporarily up until about 1800 Zulu time, rain, 5,000 meters visibility, few clouds, few towering cumulus clouds as well. Thunderstorms potential as well with that visibility dropping down, as we can see just reading here. Yeah, so definitely going to be taking more than plug fuel, aren't we? So let's just have a look at the SIGMET charts as well. Here we go. Barry says there is scenery for Link from DP Simulation. I'm going to have to check that out, Barry, because I do like flying Milan, but it's just the scenery lets it down. I can't zoom in anymore to see that, but as we can see, we've got isolated cumulonimbus clouds and basically everything we've just spoken about and briefed. So yeah, we're going to take some extra fuel just in case. And our alternate is Athens. So let's tell the boys to load 7 tons. We should be fine for 7 tons. Yep. I love this this light version of the tablet. I think it looks really nice. So there we go. That's loading. Oh, it loaded it instantly. Oh, that's not realistic. Boo. Okay, tell you what. Let's let me load that instant. There we go. 3,000. And I'm going to set it to real. And now we're going to load 7,000. There we go. Right. That's much more realistic. It means you get the refueling panel open for a while. Daddy, before I get confused with the SID, yeah, don't worry about the SID. It's a pain in Italy. SimBrief doesn't do it properly anyway, but don't worry, Danny. Already well ahead of you, mate. Right, so oh, hang on, the terminal's just disappeared. Ah, just watch that. The terminal building disappears when you look at the overhead. That's not strange at all, is it? Right, what is the weather here in terms of our? Here we go. Oh, winds light and variable cav. Okay, 17 degrees. QNH is 1004. Why on earth would I want to leave Milan with weather like that? I'll tell you what's not working. My do server's not working. Come on. Hopefully it'll now sync up. There we go. Lovely. Right, so everything on the overhead is where it should be. Let's set that QNH 1004. That's already set. We're in the turnaround state, of course. Come down here and check everything on the pedestal. That's turned on. We're squawking 2,000. There we go. Engine masters, etc., where they should be. Flight deck door is currently open. Parking brake is on. And our initial climb, I think, is going to be flight level 110. So I'm going to go ahead and set that now. We'll get the constraints turned on, and I'll just turn up the brightness a little bit. It's nice and sunny today, so we might struggle to see some of these. Okay, good. Let's get that APU started. 1, 2, 3. There we are. APU's up and running. Let's go and just get information from SimBrief. Now, one of the kids has been playing with the tablet, which means I've got 20% charge left on this. During the cruise, I might need to go and plug that in. Init press. There we go. 1 hour 41, the flight time today. Let's go ahead and we'll just add the weight and balance of the passengers in. There we go. So that's going on. Let's check our IRS. We've got, oh, wrong one. Check the IRS 3 nav green and aircraft status, LEAP engines, correct air cycle. Init request. There we go. Let's put the alternate in. And that call sign Alpine 97 Uniform Victor. Right, the cruise flight level I'm going to change because it's going to be flight level 390. There we go. Clear that scratch pad out. Let me bring the operational flight plan on screen so you guys can see that if you haven't grabbed it from the chat already. Okay, so Tropo is 35612. And the flight plan then. So departing today is going to be runway 35 left, and that is on the ERC 6 Alpha. There it is. And we're using the VATSIM transition. Is it VATSIM or VACON? VACON. Let me double check that. Yes, we're on the VACON transition. I can't read my own writing. And insert. Is that APU up and running? Yep. APU bleed on. So that's the departure in. I'm just going to go through and check this. So straight out 1,200 feet, then it's 623, 624 overfly point, 632 with speed constraints as well, and then IRC'd. Then after IRC'd, it's to Sierra Romeo November, Tango Zulu Oscar VACON. Lovely, that's coded and correct. Let's have a look at the arrival then. So at the moment our arrival plans for the RNAV 34, and that brings us in on the PITAS to Juliet. Goodness me, there's a lot of arrivals. PITA to Juliet. There we are. And is that via FedEx? Let's have a quick check. It is, yeah, I thought it was coming in here at FedEx. Insert. We've got 704 miles, 700 miles. Happy with that? Okay, one of the things I didn't check actually just with that departure was the constraints, but all of those look good. The speed constraints look to be correct as well. Yeah, so just a quick double check of that, making sure they're happy. And they are. Okay, onto the RadNav page then. We want the Malpensa VOR in there, which is Mike Mike Papa. Let's go ahead after I've just done this and get the passengers on board, shall we? So packs can come on. We'll tell self-loading cargo they can do their thing. Apologies guys if I'm not paying too much attention to the chat just whilst we're getting set up as always. But decent flight time today, so loads of time to chat a little bit later on.
Milan traffic, Alpine, Foxtrot Charlie, Tango, landing and taking off runway 35 right, Delta 6 departure via the IOSTA transition, Milan traffic.
Another company departing at Milan, so that's quite nice. Right, because of the terrain we've got here as well, I'm also going to go and set in the box just for our situational awareness. So on the Fix Info page, we're going to put in the Malpensa Mike Mike Papa VOR, and around that I'm going to pop in. Oh, hang on, that's the wrong one. Clear that out. Or can we just update that? Mike Mike Papa. Try that again. Yeah, I want the VOR, not the NDB. There we go. I'm just going to pop in there a 10-mile radius.
Thank you.
And the reason for that is because the way our departure will work is once we are out of further than 10 miles away, then our minimum safe altitude is considerably higher. We should stay within this sort of 10-mile radius here as we come in and around, but if we go outside of that 10-mile radius, then our minimum safe altitude is obviously 10,300 feet straight out, and then 8,000 feet here. I could go in and put all of these in here. So for example, if we popped this one in, what would that be? That would be 103, wouldn't it? Yeah. So let's just put that radial in 103, and then if we have a quick look on the navigation display, I should be able to see. Pop that into plan mode. Yeah, there we go. So basically, anything outside of this line and over here, outside of the 10-mile radius over there, then I know that my minimum safe altitude is quite high. Down here it drops to 3,000, so it's just in case anything went wrong. I've got a very quick reference now on the navigation display of where I am situationally wise with regards to a minimum safe altitude. Also, while I'm on the fixes page, I'm going to go ahead and pop in our engine out fix, which is today NELAB. So we'll pop that in, and the inbound course for the hold there is 267, so that's 087, the reciprocal of that. There we go. Right, on to our init B page. Now, the danger with that, of course, is we could get ourselves confused if we're not careful. So we need to make sure, and we've just we're briefing this now basically, but NELAB is over here, which is fine, but not to be confused about minimum safe altitude divider line that I've just popped in there. Okay, let me pop that back to 20 and arc mode. Right, in it B, our zero fuel weight for today's flight is, let's see, 561. And we have a tailwind of 35. Fuel planning is 6. And what we got on board, 7? Yes. Let's go ahead and put 7 tons in. Let that run its calculation. There's our takeoff weight. We're going to call our takeoff weight 63. Fuel for the alternate is 1 rounded up 1.7. And that means we've got an extra 26 minutes of flight time. Wonderful. So that's all set up. All that's left to do then is check out our performance. Jamie Aviation, thank you so much for your £2 super chat there. Very kind of you, Jamie. Very much appreciated. 737 MAX 9 or A321 long range? Oh, it's got to be the 321 long range. With that's not even a question. Jamie, yeah, it's got to be the Airbus. I may be slightly biased, but yeah. I mean, it's just brilliant what the long range 321 can do. So let's go to SimSmart now for our performance. So obviously here we are in Milan. We're departing 35 left. Grab the latest METAR. Oh, latest METAR says QNH now 1003. So let's just go ahead and update. There we go. Runway condition dry. Anti-ice will be off. That takeoff weight we're using 63. Takeoff CFG is forward. Flex config 1. Packs will be off. And let's get the information in. So we have got flex is 67. Flaps 1. V speed is 147, 147, 148. Transition altitude 6,000. Thrust reduction is 16. It's actually 1688. So 1688. 1688. And the engine out is also the same. 1688. Cool. Okay, so everything there is all set up. The box is set. We're all happy with that. Let's start doing a brief. JV Vision, I shall try and enjoy the flight. Thank you so much. Danny, yeah, it's not flight level 290. Check further down on the flight plan. You'll see we're going up to flight level 390. So, weather here in Milan, no concerns. It is beautiful here in Milan. Oh, look at that. Quite like how the visibility of the outside is blurred through the jetway. That's quite neat. So no concerns over the weather here in Milan today. We've got the Airbus A320 Neo experimental version from FlyByWire. No terms to concern us for today's departure. And threats, well, we spoke a little bit about the biggest threat, which is of course terrain around here. Tom, you can't get the weather radar to work on the experimental version. It doesn't work on the experimental version at all, or the dev version. I don't think it works on dev either. And funnily enough, I was just about to say what I would like to be able to put on for a departure such as this would be the terrain radar, but sadly that's in op. So, but yeah, terrain radar will be really good on a departure like this. We've got gorgeous weather, so actually it's not that important because we can just look out the window and see what we're about to fly into. But yeah, obviously if it was murky and grey, then that would be a huge help. And we've just briefed as well a little bit earlier those minimum safe altitudes. We should be in the 6,000 region and then into the 8,000 region once we're 10 miles away from the Malpensa VOR out on our departure. Let's see then how we're going to fly the this departure. So we are at parking stand. Where are we? Actually, I've just realised I've done the performance wrong. I'll come back to that in a second. We're at parking stand 504. We're going to push back facing east, taxi Romeo, and then whiskey. And that will then take us, and this is where you're going to discover I've done the performance wrong. Romeo Whiskey, and then we're going to take Whiskey Bravo intersection departure. So the Whiskey Bravo intersection departure gives us a takeoff run of 3515. So let's just update that. 3515. And is that going to calculate anything different for us? Actually, it didn't change a thing, did it? So we should still be okay. Tell you what I am going to do. I'm just going to reset that just to make sure. Occasionally, if you're not 100% sure, always just reset it and make sure that it's giving you the correct values. Takeoff weight 63, CFG forward flex, and 3515, and calculate. Oh no, we can still use all the same figures. Lovely. Alright, that means we don't have to change anything and our performance is valid. Fantastic, we've got 4 passengers remaining. Refueling has completed. Let's get the pumps on. External power can go away as well. What are we doing? Leave that on. Mental moment.
Hi Gavin, all the passengers are on board and we're ready to go. I'll bring you a cup of tea after we've taken off.
Thank you.
Lovely. So, let me just double check the fuel is all nicely balanced. And let's run the before start checklist to the line. So cockpit prep is complete, signs are on and auto, RDIS is 3 nav green, fuel quantity is 7 tons, checked and balanced, FMGS is set, QNH is 1003, 710 10 feet. Lock the flight deck door. Okay, let's just check that no further ATC has come on board. No, it hasn't. So now I'm going to contact the ground crew. Jetway has moved.
Milan traffic, Eurowings 2208, radio check.
Eurowings 2208 from Lux 19 Mike, reading you 5 by 5.
So let's just pre-plan the push. The more kind of nodes you put in here, the more accurate the pushback appears, so worth doing. There we go.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Richard, thank you for subscribing. Paul, you're looking forward to me streaming the 330? Yeah, I just need to find some time to do a decent flight with that. I'd love to do a nice long haul with it at some point. welcome you on board this EasyJet aircraft for your flight today. The ground crew and the fueling crew have all finished, and we're just about finished with all our cockpit preparation over here. The cabin crew are making their final checks.
Okay, sir. The bypass is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed.
Your seatbelts securely fastened.
We're cleared for start and push.
Attention as they begin
Okay,
their
cleared for
safety
push
training.
start. Please release parking
Welcome
brake.
aboard today to our EasyJet Sim pilot members, and of course, are welcome to free complimentary drinks throughout the flight. Once we reach our cruising altitude, our cabin service
parking
will
brake.
commence, and the cabin crew will be able to provide you with drinks, snacks, and merchandise throughout the duration of the flight. Once again,
release
I'd like to
parking brake.
thank you for choosing to fly with EasyJet today. We'll have an update for you when we are airborne. Okay then.
Please release parking brake.
So let's announce our taxi intentions and pushback on VATSIM. Milan traffic Alpine 97 Uniform Victor pushing back from stand 504 facing east on Romeo.
Please release parking brake.
So beacon light is on, nozzle steering is disconnected, acupressure's in the green. And let's run the before start checklist below the line. So windows and doors closed and armed. Ecam status is checked. Pitch. Oh, wrong one. Let me start that again, shall we? Windows and doors are closed and armed. Beacon light is on. Phone is on silent. Parking brake is set. Let's release the parking brake.
Parking brakes are released.
Commencing pushback. You can start the engines in sequence.
It will start in the sequence.
Okay, let's get those engines started. So, engine mode selector to ignition and starting engine 1. Alexander, do I expect the circling approach for Corfu? Not at the moment. We'll keep an eye on it. I mean, it's a 1 hour 40 minutes flight, so plenty of time for things to change. So, just watching the engine start to spool up. Barry, I think the takeoff issue in the A330 has been sorted. Yes, they pushed out an update very, very quickly yesterday, following the initial release.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now ask for your
It was like the
attention
Saturn
as we take
V
you through
rocket.
the safety procedures on this aircraft. A safety card is in your seat pocket, showing the exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 2 emergency exits at the rear, 4 in the middle, and 2 at the front of the cabin. Floor lighting will guide you to an exit. Please be aware that your nearest exit may be behind you. In an emergency, leave all cabin baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth. Hold in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take the life jacket from under your seat.
Okay,
Put it
pushback
over your
completed.
head.
Please set your
Pass the
parking
tapes
brake.
around your waist. Click together
Parking brake
and pull
set.
the strap to adjust.
Ground.
Do not
Startup is
inflate
complete.
it
You may
inside the
disconnect.
aircraft.
Roger.
When outside,
Engine start.
inflate by
Clear to
pulling the
disconnect.
toggle.
See you at the side.
If it
Have a
fails
good
to
flight.
inflate or needs topping up,
Holding position
blow
waiting
into
for
the
visual.
tube.
Thank you and goodbye.
There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. We also carry flotation aids for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrest down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. We wish you a pleasant flight with EasyJet.
Okay, so just waiting for engine 2 to spool up. And regarding the toolbar pushback, yeah, toolbar pushback is the name of the mod that I use for the pushback, and it's the latest update is really good. I've not had any performance issues with it, and as you can see, it just makes the process so much easier. All right, so engine number 2 is stable, and engine mode selector to normal. APU bleed and come off. APU masters can come off. Don't need the anti-ice today. On the spoilers, rudder, flaps 1. And let's just go ahead, set the trim. And our trimmed value today is 24.5. For anyone who uses SimSmart and wonders why it doesn't tell you the trim value, it's because you really don't need it. My trim position is 24.5, so all I'm doing, you can see, is aligning the little triangle there. There's 20, there's 25, so 24.5, somewhere around here. As long as you're in the green band, that's fine, and you can get that value there on your fuel prediction page. Just here, 24.5. Note that this will only be visible after you've started the engines.
Right now on whiskey, then Echo whiskey, then Charlie on pass over the runway 17 left.
Did someone just say they're departing on runway 17 left? Right, okay. Yeah, runway 35's in use. But anyway, after start checklist, anti-ice is off, ECAM status is checked, pitch trim is 24.5, set rudder is 0. Let's do a flight control check. Full left, full right, neutral, full up, full down, neutral, rudder, full right, rudder, full left, and neutral. Yeah, for anyone that has got any questions, please stick with us. Once we're in the cruise, then I can take a bit more time to go through and answer those. And Milan traffic, Alpine 97 uniform, Victor taxi now via Romeo Whiskey, holding point Whiskey Bravo for departure runway 35 left. Now, because this isn't a handcrafted airport, working out exactly where you are isn't always straightforward. So let's just have a quick look. So crossing Kilo just here.
Yeah, traffic looks 90 mark. Via Whiskey crossing runway 35 left.
And then this is the taxiway we want. This is Whiskey. Ace Airstream! Hi mate, hope you're well. Just been enjoying the A330, I see. Yeah, I really did find it much easier to taxi than the FlyByWire, which... because I do end up going all over the place sometimes in the FlyByWire. Is that weeds growing through the tarmac down there? Get some weed and feed on it. Okay, so PEDS check, QNH 1003, flex is still 67. Engine out procedure is non-standard. 3 miles from Mike Papa, which we've got down here. We're going to make a left turn to Neelab holding point, which we've got on the navigation display. Our departure is the Irk-6 Alpha via the VATSIM transition, and our stop altitude is flight level 110. Now, just making sure we know where we're going. We should roll all the way down here, I think. This is why you love custom scenery, because all the taxiways are correctly marked up, so we know where we're going. Nice Cathay Pacific just there, though. Before takeoff checklist to the line. Flight controls have been checked. Departure briefing is confirmed. Flap setting is config 1. And FMA and takeoff data 147 blue, 148 magenta, climb nav blue, 1FD2, 11,000 blue, and flex is 67. Transponder is set, ECA memo, takeoff, no blue, EFB is stowed.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff, please.
So are any of these taxi signs correct? That says Zulu. I don't think that's correct because we're certainly not on taxiway Kilo at the moment. Just looking there, that's Golf Whiskey, and here I think then is Whiskey Whiskey Bravo. Oh, it is! They've got one correct. ITA Airsoft, I don't have the correct taxi signs, not at all. I think that one was just sheer dumb luck. God, look at the Alps, they look nice. Okay, we'll hold our position here. I've not seen or heard anything that concerns me with regarding aircraft coming in, so I think the approach path is clear. I've got an aircraft taking off on the wrong runway, but it's not our runway, so...
Traffic, Max 92 miles from North about taking off runway 17 left. ABC5 Quebec, transition nation climb, 6,000 feet.
Okay, so let's just leave him to take off for a minute. So we're all good here. Let's just make the call that we're going to line up 35 left and just give it a few seconds to wait for the departing aircraft on the opposite runway. Milan traffic, Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, lining up runway 35 left, and we'll wait for the departing aircraft on runway 17 left before continuing Erked 6 Alpha departure via the VATSIM transition. Okay, wheel temperatures are good. Let's get all our lights on. Packs as well, and TCAS.
The person that said they're taking off runway 35, the wind at 250, so I'm not sure if runway 17 is supposed to be in use then, but...
Now, runway 35 left, currently in use in real life for departures.
Alright, thank you.
Flight Radar 24 is your best friend. Dave Hicks, how do I work out the flex? I use SimSmart, which is now available from simsmart.uk. If anyone wants to go ahead and grab that.
2 Mach to Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, did I exchange the runway last time? We checked it was runway 17 left for departure.
I would have to check that. Anyway, we've now got no traffic in front of us, so we're good to go. Milan traffic, Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, rolling runway 35 left. Okay, so takeoff. Start the chrono. Before takeoff checklist, cabin is secured, engine motor selector is normal, TCAS TRA packs are off, anti-ice is off. Maniflex, SRS and runway. I can always rely on HD to come and back us up. 35 is by far the preferred runway here in Milan. The blooming Alps are in the way otherwise. Anyway, that was just the speed 100 call. That is checked. And rotate. And nav. Once we pass 1,500 feet, we will then make that left turn. There it is. And set climb thrust. Autopilot 1 is engaged. speed constraints as well should also hold us quite nicely here. So let's just clean up. We could have flown this at green dot, of course. But the constraints have now come into use in the fly-by-wire, so it's always worth being able to test them out, and this is a good departure to do that. As we briefed at the start, the speed constraints, we have a max speed of 220 knots till passing this waypoint just here. So flight level 110 is our initial stop altitude. And you can see that our routing keeps us inside this 10-mile arc, where that minimum safe altitude we briefed is 6,000. Outside of that, it'll go up to 8,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened while the seatbelt sign is on.
And as HG just said, once we're above flight level 100, let's pull open climb. We can forget the speed constraints now. Speed, open climb.
This includes e-cigarettes.
Although, is that actually... does that still go for the constraints at this point? Ah. Let's set flight level 290 in open climb. Thrust climb, open climb, 290 blue. Yeah, once we put that into open climb, HD, does that ignore even the speed constraints? It's not something I've had to think about before. Would you pull speed and dial it up to 250? Anyway, our speed constraints have now gone, so we're targeting 290. Turns are done. Happy to clear the cabin crew. In fact, we can release the passengers as well. The entire cabin can go.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign has now been turned on. You are now free to move around the cabin and the toilets are now available. However, when in your seat, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt fastened at all times in case of unexpected turbulence. Please contact a member of the cabin crew if you require assistance. Thank you.
So the constraints will always take priority if they've been coded in, which they now are. So we can either delete them once we're above 10,000 or just pull speed. It's probably easier to pull speed, isn't it? Okay, so we're now on our way. We can go and clear the RadNav page out because there's just blue lines all over that navigation display. Let's go ahead and do that. And clear the fixes page out as well. Drew, if you want to go over setting up the fixes page, all the blue lines that you can see there, if you there's a video on the channel. If you just do a quick search on YouTube for EasyJet SimPilot and the fixes page, it should come up. Now I've got traffic crossing in front at 5 miles. Probably one of them departing on the wrong runway. He's just staying outside of our 5 mile arc, although we're going to turn towards him in a minute. He is climbing, though not quite as fast as us. He's still 5 miles. We're still 5 miles out, so it's still safe. ATC would just be keeping an eye on that. 5 miles is the minimum separation for aircraft at the same altitude, or within 1,000 feet. And I think that drops to 3 miles on final approach. So just coming back in the chat, those of you wondering about the announcements, I use self-loading cargo for that. Has anyone got visual with that traffic? When looking for an aircraft against the background.
Milan traffic, 0-20 Pushback.
The background of the terrain, I suddenly notice how dirty my monitor screen is. Think we've avoided them. Couldn't see them anyway, and we're now climbing above him. He's 10 miles away, so we're fine. Let me just check that progress page then. Flight level 390 is okay. Let's go ahead and flight level 390. There we go. So I'm going to bet that if we grab, let me just grab Navigraph back open. I reckon somewhere on here, let me just position my screen accordingly so I can keep an eye on the primary flight display. Let me just have a look. Do we have runway usage? Do we have a preferred configuration? Because I'm going to bet good money it'll tell you runway 35. Ground movements. It's either going to be in the general pages or the runway operation. Ah, there we go. Is this it? Runway operations? Oh, that's the crossing procedures, taxiing procedures, preferential use. Here we go. For the description of taxiway takeoff, preferential use is sorry, takeoff runway. No, it is taxiway. But I want to know which is which. Oh, that's taxiway preferential usage. That's not what I wanted. Oh, it wasn't there, was it? No. Speed restrictions, communication, runway operations. There's usually a preferred runway usage page somewhere. Speed. All big airports have a lot of charts. Noise abatement, runway usage. So, seems like they alternate days. I see. They're all 3.5. Doesn't really say too much about runway 17, does it? Runway operations. 380s should use 3.5 left for takeoff departures. 3.5 left, following the conventional standard instrument departure. That isn't it the very first chart? I don't know, is it? Noise abatement, runway usage. Oh, could be actually. Will be selected by ATC according to the following wind components. Max 10 knot steady measured tailwind component. When runway selected by ATC is considered not suitable for the operation design. It doesn't actually give a right out answer, 35 less must be used for landing, and 17 right must be used for takeoff. That's at night. Yeah, usually you'll find that there's something like a preferred runway usage, and it'll say something along the lines of runway 35 up to a maximum of 10 knot tailwind component, something like that. Wondering, in order to get the 100 above minimums, you need to make sure that when you're arriving, on your arrival page, you've entered in the minimums on this page, in that field just there. Interestingly enough, I'm going to have a look at the preferred runway usage for Corfu in a little bit, because I think we'd be landing with a tailwind. As it stands at the moment. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Right, we're just passing flight level 300. So we are going up to a cruise altitude today, flight level 390. Do our top of climb checks as well when we get there, of course. I've got 19% charge left on my tablet. Do you think my McDo's going to die? It's also telling me that our time of arrival at the moment would be at 14:05 Zulu time. Well, I need to leave at no later than about 14, let's call it 14:13 Zulu time. Once again on the school run. Managed to get this flight started a little earlier today so we could do a slightly longer one. And it's great that this is another real world flight as well. Mohammed, you say you wonder when Flight Tampa are going to release Corfu? I have no idea. Rise of Music, another day, another Boeing incident. This time a 777 going around at Heathrow after becoming unresponsive. Really? Actually, that's not the one I saw yesterday, is it? There was a 777... I saw in the news a 777... I think it was a 777. Its wings started rocking back and forth just as it was coming in last few hundred feet, so they obviously said to ATC, stand by, we're going around, and ATC said, yeah, we can see your wings are rocking. I think that was a 777. It was definitely a Boeing. Scary stuff, isn't it? They seem to be plagued with incidents at the moment. So here's a question for you guys, just while we're climbing to our cruise level. It's a nice long flight today. We might have to do some Friday night quizzes. But here's my first question. So it's now the... what day is it? It's the 7th of April. I've not yet cut the grass. Okay, it's started to grow. It's now starting to look a bit junglified, but I like to get it nicely established because, let's face it, the moment I cut the grass, the kids are out on it, and it's going to get used a lot. So who else hasn't had the first cut of the season yet? Nick, was that in Paris yesterday? Mark's just said as well, that was France. Mark's just said another one now in Heathrow. I mean, how coincidental is that? 2 consecutive days. Interactive Studios was at Air France 11. I think it wasn't Air France, yes. Yeah. You can see I only remember the important bits. I don't remember the details. Stick, always interesting watching the flights, Gavin. Now need to leave, but happy flying, stay safe, and grease the landing. We'll do our best. I was quite happy with the landing yesterday in Jersey, to be fair. Jersey was a great approach yesterday with the wind. But thanks for popping on by, Stig. And if you haven't done it already, guys, please, if you could do me a huge favour, hit that like button whilst we're live. It helps other people find the channel right now whilst we're live. So really would appreciate that. Thank you so much. Critic, am I enjoying the new flypad in the experimental? I am. I've turned it off now because it was rumoured to just degrade performance over a while. So yeah, I've got it turned off at the moment, but absolutely, I think it's great. Gandhi, same here, dedicated to the first cut this weekend. You're hoping for decent weather. That's it. I try and put it off as long as I can. I hate gardening. I love a nice garden to sit out in, but I'm afraid I hate gardening. I need a gardener. Simple takeoffs. It's 3 degrees there in Toronto, so you're not close to cutting the grass yet. Colin, you cut yours 3 weeks ago. It was a jungle. That's in central Scotland. Oh, wow. Drew, your grass is St. Augustine and needs the soil to be around 60 degrees F to turn green. We haven't had many warm days yet, so it's still brown. Danny, you were flying along, just departed, but then the sim crashed. Oh no, now I'm going to do some schoolwork, as you should have done instead of flying. Maybe it was a hint. But yeah, leave us on in the background, Danny, for company. Tan, do I have damages turned on? Actually, I don't. And I don't mind admitting that. I don't have damages turned on because it's very frustrating when you can be rolling down the runway and maybe the runway is not configured quite right, there's a little gap in it or something daft like that, and you can crash the aircraft. We've had it happen on stream before, so no, I don't have those turned on. If I've crashed, I'll know I've crashed. I don't need the PC to tell me. HD, yours is a mixture of dug up dirt, moss and crap grass. That's the dog. Yeah, dogs. They don't make good gardeners, do they, dogs? Again, do you enjoy gardening when it's warm and worth being out there? Currently have some VATSIM, even if there's no ATC control. Hang on, I've jumped. Hang on, the chat moved. I didn't think that made sense. So let me try again. Gandhi, enjoy gardening when it's warm and worth being out there. Currently, I have some chili plants taking up room in the cockpit. Nice. AJC, thank you for subscribing. Daryl, do you need to file a flight plan on VATSIM even if there's no active ATC controller? Yes, you do, because if ATC come online, they need to know where you're going. LA Kids, there's only the golf courses cutting the grass so far in western Pennsylvania. Interactive Studio, the captain said that he lost control of the aircraft for a short period of time. That's right, yeah. Felix Bull, you've recently come out of summit in Australia, so the Lord is largely dead. Yeah, I can understand that. And Chowbri says there's still 30 centimetres of snow on the lawn in Trondheim, Norway. Yeah, I don't think you're going to be cutting that anytime soon. Interactive and Air, an investigation has been opened by the investigative authorities in France. I forget what BA stands for, but yeah, they're the French investigation branch, aren't they? Tan, today you had a very smooth landing, but you got your airplane apparently crashed. That's why you asked. You turned it off immediately. Yeah, sometimes you just get some simisms. Right, we must be near our top of climb now. Oh, 1,000 feet to go. I've got on TCAS a white intruder diamond showing, even though they're probably a good 20, 22, 23 miles away. Looks quite hazy down there, doesn't it? Flights such as this mean that I have time to go and make myself a cup of tea in the galley. Interactive, thank you, is the Bureau Yeah, okay. The Analysis Bureau. I'm going to stick with that. You know I don't like pronouncing things that I can't read. That's why I took Spanish at GCSE, because at least you could pronounce everything they said. Tan, how's Vietnam treating you so far? Not too bad, but always do your own calculations just to make sure. I think my cup of hot tea's gone cold. It's now cold tea. HD says some people are suspecting 5G signals with the 777 loss of control. I've heard that as well, particularly in the USA. But you're hedging your bets on aliens. It's always aliens. Mag Alt Cruise. Let's get TCAS on. Oh, look at the glare off the screen there. That's neat, isn't it? Look at that. The fact that a simulator can just compute that that is the exact angle that we're flying and the sun's in the exact right place, that yes, there would indeed be a reflection that's blinding just there, I think is just truly amazing. That's interesting.
The cabin crew will now start to make their way around the aircraft, so please make sure that they are clear of any items you may have, and I invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. A reminder that our EasyJet Sim pilot members are able to take advantage of free drinks throughout the duration of the flight. Thank you, and we shall have an update for you shortly.
HD, give me analytics on this, please. Aren't these normally joined up? And working, or am I seeing something that's not there? Martin, thank you for subscribing. The Aviationist, good afternoon to you. There is no cure for the flickering shadows, I'm afraid, Dean. It's a problem with the actual simulator itself. I find that strange as well. I've burnt more fuel on the right hand side than I have the left. That shouldn't happen. Oh well, that's why they call it the experimental version, isn't it? I don't like the soundtrack that's just come on. I can hear someone whispering sweet nothings in my ear, and I know I'm alone in the house. I don't like that. HD, possibly. Clearly paying attention. Needle of the Skies crew may have tried to override the autopilot using control input rather than disconnecting autopilot with the switch. This makes the aircraft stiff and heavy until autopilot cuts out. Well, Needle of the Skies, the moment you put in any sort of pressure on the it's a yoke, isn't it, in a Boeing, the autopilot disconnects. That's the safety feature, and it disconnects with a big brr, brr, brr alarm, so you know you've disconnected it. Anthony S says, thank you for the sim calculator. It is going to be epic to have more realistic numbers. You are more than welcome. So anyone who is not yet aware on the channel, don't think there can be many of you, SimSmart is now available, so you can go ahead and get this from simsmart.uk, link in the video description down below, and you can get proper calculations for your flex temp takeoffs and V speeds. If anyone wants a demonstration of this, then if you are about to fly, then we've got plenty of time this flight, so I can do that for you. Yeah, paying lots of attention when you're doing a hold, HD. The trick is don't do a hold. Right, let's do a fuel check. Where are we coming towards? We're coming towards Agamo. What fuel did we take? We took 7 tons, which means above CNR we should have About 1.1 tons above the CNR, which means that at AGMO, I'm just trying to have a look for it. We should have 5.4 tons at AGMO. Oh, well, would you look at that? That's good. Colin, you got your copy of SimSmart yesterday. I haven't used it yet. No, fair enough. The amount of hours I've spent playing with it to make sure that it doesn't do daft things. In fact, that's something I've not checked. I'll send off some weathers in a minute. But that's something I've not checked. There was a bug with SimSmart when it was released, which we didn't pick up, and that was when we had a wet runway. So let's choose somewhere like Newcastle. Yeah, it's probably raining in Newcastle. Let's get the current METAR for that. Ooh, did it not like that? Not found the server. Does that mean it wasn't able to get the METAR from Newcastle? Interesting. Let's try again. Oh, worked that time. Aliens. So yeah, if we go wet, anti-ice off, and 67 ton. Forward, config 1, air condition off, calculate this. Oh, that's better. Yeah, we had a problem with the runway condition when it was set to wet and config 1. It had V2 showing as lower than VR, so something got coded in not quite right there, but that's now been fixed. And as you can see, they're showing quite nice as well. Glad to see that's worked. Gav, hey mate, thank you so much for your $5 Australian super chat. Really do appreciate that. What time is it for you? It must be something. It must be midnight for you, is it? Something daft like that? Goodness me. Thank you so much, Gav. Very kind of you. Do appreciate that. Jep, yes, sim calculator is now available. HD, thanks very much, mate. Have a good day. I shall speak to you soon. Dan, you weren't able to get the METAR of is that Zurich yesterday? Sometimes the server has a moment, which is why you can enter it manually if you want to, and doing it manually is more realistic. There we go. There's the METAR for Zurich. It's when you've got a METAR which has got a live METAR which has got loads of forward slashes in it, then that can sometimes confuse it. So yeah, that's why. If you have this option checked, if you go in the options page, and here, if the METAR data cannot be obtained automatically, do you want the option to enter this manually? You can also opt to enter it manually all of the time. So yeah, I've just got it to yes when auto fails. Dean, can you give the missus a shout out? She's currently waiting for her Edinburgh de Gaulle flight as a cabin crew. Name's Emma P. Emma P, you've got some nice weather today once you get out of the UK. It's a little bit windy, so just hold on departure and, until you're above that turbulence. Yeah, so Gav, it's 11 PM where you are, 22:18 in Adelaide. Anthony S, you had the exact error this afternoon. You tried again, it worked fine. Yeah, it's like all things, sometimes has a moment, doesn't it? There we go. So our flight route today, if we check that out and show you, there's our, yeah, there we go. There's our flight route. I think we just left Italy. Italy's behind us now, isn't it? Yeah, Italy's behind us, and we're going to be coming down the Adriatic, down here. So let's go ahead and get some en route weathers. So let me see. We'll look 4. Go to our McDo menu, ATSU, AOC, weather request. So, Lima Golf, Kilo Romeo, which is our arrival. I'm going to pop that in the top one. And then we'll pop, is it ZR in there as well? Let me just have a quick look. I want to say ZDZA, something like that. I just need to, basically, you're looking for the big airports, really, big airports. So we've got Split. ZDZA, which is it's Zagreb, not ZR. So ZDZA. We'll put Split in there as well. Not in database. Oh, what am I doing? It's not ZDZA. Lima Delta Zulu Alpha. Try again. Split in there as well, which is Lima Delta Sierra Papa, and Dubrovnik, one of my favourites, LDDU. There's our en route weathers. There we go. Gav, lots of Aussies here. Yay, prime time for Australia's for Australian tonight. Sadly, you've all got to go up for work in the morning and you're going to be shattered. Needle of the Sky says, you think the 777 needs about 25 pounds of force into the control column to disengage the autopilot. Below this, the controls just feel stiff. I can't say if that's correct or not, because I have no experience with the 777. Carolus, thank you so much for subscribing. Do I have real world traffic turned on? No, because we're on VATSIM, so that would be very confusing if we had real world traffic and VATSIM traffic flying towards us. Company message. Let's just check. Are all those airports wide open to us in case something goes wrong? So currently at the moment the wind is 060 at 3. That's okay. So runway 34 is it? In Corfu that we're planning on landing on. That's good. Scattered at 800 feet. Could just do with that clearing up a bit. Zagreb is wide open. Winds light and variable. Cav okay. Split. Bit windy, but wind is winds are alright. We've got visibility is good. QNH is 1004. Fuel clouds 3500, and in Dubrovnik it's raining. Few clouds 400. Visibility is okay though. The thing I like about Dubrovnik is it doesn't have an ILS. Or is it one of the runways doesn't have an ILS? I can't remember actually. I know one certainly doesn't. Yeah, 11 has the ILS, but 29 is the RMP, which is just a beautiful approach. If anyone hasn't tried this before, coming in here when you basically have got terrain on your left-hand wingtip, really nice. Brian says, well Gav, watching you have finally flown 4 flights on VATSIM this week. Oh Brian, that's great news. How did you get on? All was all well? I'm sure it was. Andreas, if you have it set to pounds, do you put the takeoff weight as 144,675 for example, or do you hard to convert it to tons for the calculations? So see, Anthony, SimSmart is actually quite clever. So if you're using tons, as in 1,000 kilograms equals 1 ton, that's kind of the English ton, which is used worldwide for aviation. If you have it set to pounds, it uses American pounds, because American pounds are the standard rather than English pounds. So it does the work for you, so you don't have to work too much out there, Anthony. Hope that helps. Brian says you learned the Airbus thanks to myself and from HD. HD's great, isn't he? He's gone now. We can say what we want about him. Brazovan, just waiting for the Phoenix before you start planning RMP approaches all the time. Well, we'll be doing a is it RMP or RNAV approach today? The fly-by-wire can do it. You've got no problem with the fly-by-wire doing it. We've got all right. It's an RNAV approach, not RMP, but for the sake of argument, they're the same thing. Brian, you have a question. Which source do you use to enter the takeoff weight into the new tool? So it's your init B page. Once you've loaded in all your zero fuel weight and things, so you've got your fuel loaded. When you put your zero fuel weight in, when you've added your fuel in, it's the takeoff weight that is shown there. JJ says the standard international ton, not the English ton. I'm in England, JJ. I don't care what the rest of the world call it. Am I not using the flight plan to see the charts? I do sometimes if I'm flying with a single monitor. But if I'm flying and I've got dual screen operations, then I can just move it in and out. Brian says, VATSIM flights have gone really well. You found Eversoft EFB to be a godsend. It has all the live VATSIM information for your routes. Very good. Matt plays you late on arrival. Plenty of time on this flight, my friend. Why do the Americans have a different ton to the rest of the world? Is it just because the Americans like to be a little bit different? I'm sure there has to actually be a reason for it. They didn't just decide one day, oh, do you know what, we're going to be a bit different to the rest of the world. Brian, that's good to know you'd been using the estimated takeoff weight from SimBrief. Yeah, but Brian, do you always load the exact amount of fuel that SimBrief tells you to take, or do you take that little bit more just for contingency? In which case you're going to be heavier, aren't you, than the estimated takeoff weight from SimBrief. I was got on takeoff. You had the packs off. Does it and the fly-by-wire make any difference? I actually don't know. I would have to test it, but because my SOPs have always been to have it turned off, I've never had them turned on. Ooh, First Officer George is barking away. Let me just go and see what that's all about. Back in a moment. Oh, we're back. Good old Amazon. Card member says it's just like us in Britain. The wall sockets are different, the lanes on the road, etc. Yeah. It wouldn't do for us all to be the same. Danny had a power shortage a couple of minutes ago. Always a bit tricky when you're not really familiar with electricity. Rise of Music says the only reason is because the Americans always have to create the most difficult and inefficient systems and then swear by them until they become usable. Or unusable. Oh, fair enough. Was you use the gross weight shown after engine start for the takeoff weight? No! Your gross weight needs to be entered well before your performance page needs to be entered well before you start in the engines. Don't be doing your performance after engine start. Get it all done in the first place. And JJ says the standard international standard international units are now standard for science and engineering for about 40 years. Only the US old people and old industries use imperial and US units. Makes sense. Speaking about Dubrovnik and Split, we might see those today out of this window. This is one of those flights where if you're sat on the right hand side, I mean, how many of you do this? If you're going on a flight somewhere and you know roughly what the route's going to be, so like if you were on this flight here, you know if you're sat on the right hand side of the plane, you're going to see a lot of water. But if you're sat on the left hand side of the plane, well, you're going to have something decent to look at, including an airport down there. That looks like quite a decent one. Which one's that? Oh, is that that's Lima Delta Zulu Delta, isn't it? I forgot what that's called. Zada, is it? Lima Delta Zulu Delta? Honestly, can't remember. Yes, Zada, Lima Delta Zulu Delta. Yes, so there's Zada. We're going to see Split just after that, and then Dubrovnik as well, a little bit later on. So yeah, it's quite nice to see, isn't it? Down there. Anthony S, do you have a tool that can work out the trim up and down set? No, Anthony, you don't need one. Oh, we've been talking about this quite a lot in the chat on our Discord recently. You don't need to set the up-down 0.1 or whatever on the McDo. It makes no difference to the aircraft. This is real life I'm talking about. It makes absolutely no difference. So very, very few airlines now, as part of their standard operation procedures, actually use that anymore because it's so easy to put the wrong value in, or put a value in at one point, get the load sheet, and then forget about it. So you don't put it in. All you do is you check your aircraft's center of gravity, and that is found on the fuel prediction page after engine start. It's just here, and then from there, so it's 24.7, so just under 25. From there, you then move this little arrow here. You move that, and sorry, you don't move the arrow, but you move the trim wheel until it lines up. Now, the fact we're in flight makes it a bit difficult for me to show you, but there's 17. The next one down is I can't see it. I think the next one down is 20, and so you just align it with that. You don't need to know what it is. And the real one, FlySmart, which SimSmart's based on, doesn't give you your C of G. I'll come off my high horse now. Sorry. So many people ask me, "Oh no, SimSmart doesn't calculate the C of G. It must not be right." Well, it is. You don't need it. Dean, you've recently started to program your McDo with the climb, cruise, descent winds. Is this usually done automatically in real life, and will it be coming to FlyByWire? Yes, yeah. Well, it's not done automatically, but you can download them in real life through ACARS, just like you do with your flight plan and things. So yeah, and I have seen that FlyByWire are all working on that. So looking forward to that coming. Christopher, hello. Thank you for subscribing. Frazalta, hello from Milan. Oh, good to see you. Matt plays, what's the ETA for arrival? Hopefully about 5 minutes before I have to do the school run. It is 1356 Zulu. Call it 1400 Zulu. Yeah, 1400 Zulu. Brian, you always use SimBrief to add the extra fuel if the weather is out of it. Oh, okay, so you don't enter it on top of the planned block fuel. You just tell SimBrief, I want more fuel. That's fair enough. That looks good, doesn't it, down there? That looks really neat. I like that. Mark, did I have issues with the experimental version of the A320NX veering off the runway during takeoff? Struggling with this? No, I haven't. I can't say as I have. Simple takeoff. So the pitch trim is set solely based on the centre of gravity. I heard there's a performance tool for calculating it based on runway length density. Oh God, no. No. It's based on centre of gravity. And a load sheet, which you don't have here in the sim. But the load sheet tells you where your CFG is. Brian, you've been entering the winds. Can you explain which altitude you enter the winds for in the cruise? Honest answer, I don't. You've got the trip wind in there. That's enough. Jamie Aviation, thank you for subscribing as well. And to... I'm really sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Is Besicu Valeriu? That was awful, wasn't it? My humblest apologies. I tell you, I can't read. Crime Blocks, hello to you. The people subscribing may not be watching this, of course. They may be watching an old video and have decided to subscribe to the channel. It just pops up here now live in stream. But if you are watching, welcome. Welcome on board. Now this is the area, if you remember, let me just grab the operational flight plan. Come down to our SIGMET charts further below. Yeah, you can just start to see this is where we had isolated embedded cumulonimbus clouds up to flight level 300. This is what we're now starting to see. I mean, we're around here, and we're heading down and down and down and down. So, looking forward to seeing what this is like. We're going to probably be descending through some, not rough weather, but some interesting weather on the way down. Simple Takeoff, Scav, you were astonished by the Glasgow airport on yesterday's stream. Enjoyed the walk around of the turbo. So did I. It was amazing, wasn't it? I've never seen anything quite so detailed. Danny, my terrain level of detail I think is set to... Is it the terrain level of detail or the LOD level? Or are they the same thing? I want to say 170. Nick, for the first time your calculator top of descent and your fly-by-wire top of descent marker actually match. That's excellent. Now, will it flight? That is the next question. Right guys, I'm heading back to the galley. I am going to make myself a nice drink for the rest of the flight, and then I'm going to start looking at our arrival. Hope you've enjoyed the flight so far. Don't go anywhere. I shall be back very soon. Please do hit that like button on stream. Having a really chilled out Thursday afternoon with you guys. Love being able to deliver a daytime stream. Break up the working day for you all. Keep you sane. And if you're in Australia, then bore you to sleep. And if you're in America, waking you up. So, I'm going to go and grab a drink. I'll be back in 5-10 minutes or so. I shall see you shortly.
In just a few moments, we'll commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to purchase from our selection of fresh food available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. We accept payment in pounds, euros, most major currencies, and debit or credit cards. The correct change would be greatly appreciated, and if we can be of any further assistance, then just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
Oh, I'm back with you. I can see those clouds are still starting to roll over. Thank you to Leprechaun205 and ChuckSecT on Twitch as well for the follow whilst I was away. Oh, did the Hot Fun Girls come as well? Excellent. Duly kicked off the flight by Nick, I see. Evasionist says, such a lovely view. The game developers have done a superb job. They have indeed, obviously. Not without its quirks, but it's, yeah, it is good. Nevertheless. And we enjoy them. Really, really do. All good fun. Drini, just ordering a gaming mechanical keyboard. Can't wait to listen to those keys. Right, okay. So, oh yeah, there's the embedded cumulonimbus clouds that we're going to endure on our descent down. Right, should we begin having a look at our arrival? I think so. So let's see how it currently looks. Let's just zoom out a bit. Uh, 11 o'clock. Sorry guys, hope I didn't scare you. You know, I think any parent does this. Sneaking up behind one of your kids is just one of the most fun things you can do as a parent. Brian, you've been a member for 9 months now. Wow, thank you so much, Brian, saying keep up the great work on this channel. Brian, you are, of course, so welcome. Thank you for your kind support over that time. It's really, really appreciated. Right, let's grab the charts, shall we? See what we've got to play with. Ryan says you left a comment just as I left. Feel free to repeat it, Ryan. I have been away. I've got a cup of tea, and I don't mind admitting I've got myself a nice chocolate bar as well. It's hard work flying. So we're coming in via Pitas today, and we are on the, what's the name of our arrival? It is the, hang on, let me grab my operational flight plan here. It is the Pitas to Juliet arrival. And we're planning runway 34. So that then is going to bring us down here. The Pitas to Juliet, we're going to fly a nice arc, which you can see is actually coded in quite neatly just here. So that comes in, takes us around a 23-mile DME arc from Kilo Romeo Kilo to Delta 261 Whiskey, and then from Delta 261 Whiskey we come into Bedek, and then from Bedek we fly 602 Direx, and in fact let's just go down here and check that this all matches up. So 602 after Bedex, 601 600, and then we're on the final approach, aren't we? Right, now let's have a look at what altitudes we've got coded in where. So the high altitude is at Kilo Romeo 601. We want to be at 2,900 feet. Now I want to check that's a hard constraint and not just above. No, that's saying above. Well, no, I want to make that a hard constraint. So 2,900 feet there. So there we go. That's fine. 602 is got us at 4,100. That's okay. And then the real important one is at Kilo Romeo 600, we have to be at 1,700 to start that descent. So let me go ahead and check that that is, yeah, not above 1,700, a hard 1,700. Yeah, so that all looks good. At 602, I've got a speed there of 250 knots. Do you know what? I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna edit that. So I'm gonna pop a speed constraint there at 602. Let's pick something sensible. Let's go in and put 200 knots. And it's just so we can start to work out how we're going to start slowing the aircraft down for this RNAV approach. So Ryan, 94, a real pilot you know personally who's flown both the 320, 321, has said both are very similar to each other in terms of the performance calculations. So you've been using SimSmart in the X-plane, surprisingly it's better than the one you get with the Tollis. Really? Well, they are quite, I mean, they're never going to be perfect, are they? We haven't paid hundreds of thousands of pounds to Airbus for all their information. But they have been tested against FlySmart to make sure that we're not millions of miles off, and quite often in some of our tests they came out very, very close. So yeah, it's great to know that. That's fantastic. Thank you, Ryan. Now, just going back to this, BedX, what have we got in? Do we have anything at BedX? No, we've not got anything in there, and that's okay. So I think we're good. I think that's all programmed quite nicely, and there's no constraints there. It says that we can't make either. So that's all right. Tell you what I will do though, let's go and just pop the winds in for our descent. So I need my operational flight plan for this. Do you know what? This is boring. You don't want to see me enter the winds. I'll enter the first lot, but basically for the descent, the wind is 275 at 66, flight level 390. Right, I'll go through and do the rest of those. In fact, I can do the rest of those while you guys can enjoy the nice view again. Next one is 274 at 65, and that's at 350. Sorry, 276. It's a bit of a crosswind coming down anyway. Probably not going to make too much difference to our descent. And then as we get a little bit lower, 282, wind speed drops off 039 at flight level 200, and then finally flight level 100 we've got 283, speed 026, and flight level 100. Right, they're all entered in. I'm also going to, whilst I'm messing around with the McDo, I'm going to go ahead and grab a METAR. So that's on its way as well. So in terms of our top of descent, hey HD, check the DMs, I shall indeed. In terms of our top of descent, 4,000 at BedX is a good call. 4,000 at BedX, and at that point we can then, if we can get to green dot by then, that would be grand. So let's have a look and see. We're currently flight level 390. So we're going to start our top of descent around 150 miles away from BedX. So in that case, Let's go to our fix info page, pop BedX in there. And a radius of 115 miles. Enter the enter destination data. Yeah, I'll do that in a minute. Let me just see where it suggests our top of descent should be. Oh, that's interesting. I can't seem to find one. It must still be calculating it. It's not that far though, looking at this. We've not passed it yet because I haven't got a VDEV scale. Oh, hang on. Top of descent markers there. That's not right. Absolutely, that is not right. Right, latest weather in Corfu. Oh, winds are now variable. And that's at 02. Scattered 800 feet, temperature is 16 degrees, QNH is 1005. Let's go ahead and pop that in then. So what was that QNH? 1005. Temperature is 16. Wind 340 at 2. Transition altitude is 5,000. And our minimums, yeah, we need at least 2,400 meters, minimum 770. Done. Must approach at, but not before 34, right turn max 185, so we're going to do that in flaps 1 if we need to, and then basically work our way back to BedX. Missed approach altitude, have we got one? 4,000. Airfield elevation is 5. Transition altitude we've just said is 5,000. Platform altitude is 1,700, and that is at Kilo Romeo 600. Minimum AF altitude is, as we're coming in and down, 4,500, keeping to the left. On the missed approach, that actually increases to 8,200. We need to keep away from the terrain over here in Greece. And our decision height is 770. Let's have a look at our arrival once we've landed. Disneyland's runway, roll to the end, take Alpha 2 and then park at the terminal. Oh, could we take Alpha 1? We could take Alpha 1. We'll go with auto brake low and we should probably make Alpha 1 then. Speed that up. So let's do the full briefing then. So we are going to be our first descent, we're going to be PITAS, we're going to get down to 11,000 feet. After passing 25 miles from Kilo Romeo Kilo, we can then start our descent down to 4,500 feet. After then we have passed Delta 261, we're going to get down to 4,000 feet at BedX. I want to be green dot at BedX. As we leave BedX, we're going to get down to 2,900 feet, configuring as we go. Flaps 1, flaps 2, and then I want gear down, flaps 3 at Kilo Romeo 600, shortly followed by flaps 4. And is it a 3-degree approach? Yes, it is. HD's just flagged something up as well. Final approach track offset 5 degrees from the runway centerline. So, have to make a nice visual. It's only 5 degrees, but bring into our shout. Right, we're going down now anyway. So, initially down to 11,000. We're going to use open descent for this. Thrust idle, open descent, 11,000 blue. So it doesn't look like VNAV's going to be working particularly well on this. It's okay, we don't need it. We can see the level off altitude is, the level off indicator rather, is just there, which is useful as we can see what's happening. Brian, do you check the ETA on the destination ATIS-2? You find it often differs from the charts. If ATIS is online, yeah, remember they're normally giving a transition level, not always a transition altitude. Here's our Greek embedded cumulonimbus clouds that we're going to be flying into in a bit. Anthony, have I flown the Concorde yet? Oh God, no. I'm not clever enough to fly that. Captain Matt Russell, you're still in bed, watching most of the streams now. You had the COVID test, you've got COVID. Oh no! Well, hopefully we can give you something to pass the time. Thomas, you've got to ask, what's the green stick and HD stand for on the nose? Oh, this little guy here. Oh, this is... this goes right back to when the channel first started. HD, who you may be familiar with. HD is a pilot of the A320 family who's found on the streams quite regular. And whenever I used to do anything wrong, he used to beat me with a ruler. Figuratively, of course. So we embedded him in the aircraft for an eternity. So I'm just also popping into the performance page here. I'm popping in there. In fact, I am going to pop in there Delta 261 Whiskey. And then I can use that to keep hold of our profile and know where we're going. So what we have in the RadNav page as well is we've got on VOR2 we've got this, VOR1 we have this. And that's important. Oh, well, hang on. Have we got? We've got ATC. Athena radar has come online. 12967.
2Jet 726.
Athena Radar, good afternoon. Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, currently on the Peters 2 Juliet arrival, passing flight level 260 for flight level 110, direct Pitas.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, Athena Radar, squawk 7241.
7241 for Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, radar contact, descend 4,000 feet, QNH 1005, expect RNAV approach on H34.
Descend altitude 4000, QNH 1005, Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, and expect the RNAV runway 34. Okay, so 4000 blue. Track miles to go, 87 miles. Profile is looking fine at this point. Danny, ATC is now going to screw up my plan. No, it won't. We've got the same approach. What he might do is it just means that we'll probably not fly the full procedure.
2Jet 726, descend 3,000 feet, QNH 1005.
The main thing to remember is from BedX. I want to be green dot at BedX. Flaps 1 as we leave BedX. Flaps 2 as we're getting towards Direx. Flaps 3 and landing gear down no later than Kilo Romeo 600. This is a bit bumpy.
Speedbird 880 Alpha, join Charlie to parking gray.
Charlie to parking, Speedbird 880 Alpha.
The fact it's cleared us down to 4,000 feet as well means that I'm no longer restricted by this particular no lower than 11,000 feet until 25 miles from Kilo Romeo Kilo. Because of all these clouds that we spoke about a little bit earlier, means I'm probably not going to see a nice bit of scenery until it's too late and we're concentrating on the landing. So still just interrogating that profile. Remember, I want 4,000 at BedX.
Was there 865 startup approved?
So that's about 14,000 feet to go. Also, the level off arrow tells us where we're going to reach 4,000 feet, and that's before BedX, so that's okay. Bear in mind, I need to slow down too. So it's looking alright at the moment. Shad, any plans to upgrade my GPU in the near future? Not unless I win the lottery. Barry, I'm still in the air. Yes, absolutely. Where did you think I would be, Barry? Or in the airport bar, maybe.
Jet 726, cleared RNAV approach, runway 27, report fuel inside.
Clear for R9 runway 279, reporting when runway inside after jet 726.
And do you wish us to continue on the Peters 2 Juliet arrival for Alpine 97 Uniform Victor?
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor affirm.
Wilco 97 Uniform Victor. I just have a thought then. We're under control. He never actually gave us the star. I told him which star I was on. He never said yes or no to that, so I thought we'll just check.
I'm here at Tuner Radar, 2662 Foxtrot Victor.
Yeah, I saw you disconnected, sir, that's why.
Okay, 2662 Foxtrot Victor.
Okay. Let's get seatbelt signs on.
Goodbye.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. If you could please return to your seats and ensure that your seatbelt is securely fastened.
Just because I know I want to get down to green dot, and I'm just on the profile at the moment. I want to get slightly below it so I can slow down.
Charlie, Golf 5, Adina Radar standby. 18047, taxiing instead of a choice by Delta today.
ATC sounds quite busy, which is nice.
Choice 18047, thanks for your attention, bye-bye.
Barry, you upgraded the subscription today, which should help. Thanks so much, Barry. I do appreciate that, I really do. Thank you so much. Anyway, seatbelt signs are on. Let's run the approach checklist. So we've briefed our arrival. Seatbelt signs are on. Minimums are 770 set. Engine mode selector is normal. EFB is stowed.
Challenger 77 Golf 5, cleared to visit us as filed. Cycle for 1 Alpha departure. Actually, know what's done by. I'll come back to you.
Do you know what? It could be quite dark beneath these clouds. They do look quite thick and dense.
Request taxi,
The 865 taxi on runway 33 via Delta Alpha.
Lachlan, you've just got the Concorde. Good luck to you. So this little overfly, it's not an overfly waypoint actually, this one, or at least it shouldn't be. Just looking at the track that it's got there. No, it's not an overfly point, as we can see confirmed as well down here on the flight plan page. As we slow down, that might sort itself out. We're going to start to reduce our speed now, 250 knots as we approach 10,000 feet. We'll get our lights on as well.
Tango Lima Lima Golf Sierra, Charger Lima Lima Golf 5. Clear to destination as filed, 641 Alpha departure, runway 19er. Initial climb level 100, squawk 7266.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the flight deck, you may have noticed
Right, clear to destination as filed, 641 Alpha departure 19, initial climb level 10072, speed 6 on the squawk, Lima Lima Golf 5.
Hey, Lima Golf 5, readback is correct. Break Condor 15904, descend 3,000 feet, QNH 1007.
Condor 15904, descend 2,000 feet, QNH 1007.
Negative 3,000 feet.
3,000 feet, Condor 15904.
So not talking too much at the moment. As we start to get down below 10,000 feet, we need to start concentrating. I'm also listening to ATC as well. Should be straightforward though, given everything that we've got planned. Do you know, I broke that chocolate bar in. I've not even had a chance to eat it. Should have got it much earlier on in the flight. So our airport is over there somewhere. Now the air temperature is warm enough not to require the anti-ice, but because we've got the isolated embedded cumulonimbus, I'm just going to leave that on.
Radar
radar Lima Lima Golf 5 at Seattle requesting engine start.
Tango Lima Lima Golf 5, setup approved, QNH 1001.
1001 Lima Golf 5.
Okay, so we're now going to activate that approach phase. Get a bit closer to BedX and then we'll pop that into managed speed.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, cleared on-off approach runway 34, port fuel inside.
Clear the on-off approach runway 34, will report field inside. Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Cabin crew, about 15 minutes to landing. If you can prepare the cabin, thank you.
2 jet 726, airbase in sight.
2 jet 726, wind 310 knots, runway 27, clear land.
Leonardo, yeah, this was a DME arc approach to an RNAV.
2 Foxtrot Victor.
Arrival.
Cleared Chavez 1 Alpha arrival, expect RNAV approach runway 27.
Chavez 1 Alpha arrival, NF approach 27, touristic 62 Foxtrot Victor.
Corner 15904, cleared VOR Zulu approach runway 06, report final.
Corner 1594, cleared VOR Zulu.
Okay, so I've now popped it into managed speed. We've activated the approach phase. Just pop that back into open descent. Thrust idle, open descent.
You'll shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is
With
safe
your
and secure with your laptop
865, wind
inside.
270,
Your tray
12
table
knots,
must be
27,
sewn,
runway
armrest
33,
down,
for takeoff.
and window blind open. You now need to be seated with your seatbelt fastened, ready for landing. Please help us by handing in any rubbish, newspapers, or magazines that you do not want to take with you. The toilets are no longer in service.
Okay, so I wanted green dot at BedX, 4,000 feet at BedX. We're currently 7 miles from BedX, reducing nicely to green dot. 600 feet above 4,000. Happy with how that's going. Once we pass BedX, we're going to get ourselves down to 2,900 feet, configuring as we go. And by this waypoint here, flaps 3, gear down. Speed Alt Star. Jeff Langdon, thank you for subscribing. I've got the school run in about 20 minutes.
That's on a radar citation.
Another high-speed taxi once we've arrived.
Yeah, so it's ready for taxi, only 19.
Tango Lima Lima Golf 5, taxi via Hotel Alpha 2, and the backtrack line up away runway 19er.
Hotel Alpha 2 and the backtrack 19 Lima Golf 5.
A reminder as well, the go-around we would do in flaps 1 configuration, should we need to do that.
So we're 6 Juliet Tango, Kino radar, question bye.
Mile to go, and then we're headed down to 2,900 feet. Warm enough now to do away with these, I think.
After departure, passing 3,000 feet to the X5.
Okay, down to 2,900 feet, an open descent.
6 Juliet Tango, clear to London.
Down we go.
Filed, Maddox 1 X-ray departure, runway 33. Initial climb, flight level 160.
I'm going to start configuring as well. So flaps 1, speeds checked, flaps 1.
Okay, cleared back to Heathrow on the Marks 1 X-ray departure, runway 33, initial climb, flight level 160, clocking 7.
Plenty of time to get down to 2,900 whilst configuring on this approach.
Red 6 Juliet Tango, readback is correct.
We can see the blue level of arrow as well, showing us round about where it would be. It is of course extending away from us at the moment because we're slowing down, so we're not descending too fast at the minute, only about 600-700 feet per minute.
Radar clear to Turkish asphalt, Carista S2 Foxtrot.
Kitrick, yeah, sometimes the overlay gets stuck, so we can just ignore that.
7232.
Destination.
Just reduce that rate of descent, otherwise we're going to be trundling along at 2,900 feet for longer than we need to. So we'll pull speed now 180 knots.
726 located. 726, kind of approach by Delta Grey.
And this is the kind of approach where a continuous descent probably isn't the well, it isn't the aim of the game. The idea is to have a stabilized approach rather than a decelerated approach. Alt star.
That's on our radar, Lima Lima Golf 5, Skiatos, ready for takeoff 19.
And flaps 2, speeds checked. Flaps 2.
Challenger 7 Golf 5, wind at near Antilles 260 to 13 knots, gust 23, runway 19 across takeoff.
Promise there's going to be a runway soon. The problem with this airport is, of course, if you've got the low cloud, the minimums are quite high. So you need a runway visual range of 2,400 meters, which we should have, and the decision altitude is 770 feet. Now, interestingly enough,
with your 865,
ceiling is 800 feet. Right, we're going to start slowing down then. So we'll pop that into managed speed.
Condor 1594, final approach.
Condor 1594, wind 1008 knots, runway 06, clear land.
Condor 1594, runway 06, clear land.
We're now going to get this into FPA, and it's a 3-degree descent angle, so 5 miles away from the start of that descent. The idea behind this is just to get us down on this track low enough to be able to see the runway. And I can tell when everyone's concentrating because the chat goes very quiet.
Radar, Lima Lima Golf 5 airborne, Skiatos, runway 19, climbing through 3 Delta.
Challenger Lima Lima Golf 5, roger, climb for level
Okay, gear down.
310.
Flight level 310.
Spoilers armed.
Good evening, Agent 9.
Flaps 3. Speeds checked, flaps 3.
India 976, Athena radar RG5.
This isn't an ILS approach either, so we have to be able to see that runway to land at it. About 8 miles away.
Touristic 62 Foxtrot Victor, descent flight level 110.
Remember as well, we have to let ATC know when we are
110, touristic
visual,
Foxtrot Victor.
which could be late on. Okay, so let's set the FPA ready to pull when we're 0.3 miles away. Four, 3, there it is. FPA 3. Missed approach altitude 4,000 feet set. Now all we need to do is be able to see
Wizard 865, radar contact.
a runway.
Challenger Lima Lima Golf 5, radar contact.
Condor 1594 vacated Bravo.
Condor 1594, taxi to stand 5 via Juliet, correct?
2,500.
Taxi to stand 5 via Juliet.
I think we are far too high here. Far too high. And I'm not happy with this approach. I know why we're not happy with this approach, because I've made a fatal mistake. Okay. Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, calling off the approach and flying missed approach procedure.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, roger.
And I'll explain why in a moment.
Agent 976 requires hyper clearance to destination.
Agent 976, quit the destination as filed. The Caristas 2 Foxtrot departure, runway 2 on left, initial climb 7,000 feet, squawk 7255.
Roger, clear to destination via Carol 2 Foxtrot departure, initial climb 7,000 feet and squawk 7255, Agent 976.
Agent 976, read that correct.
So let me just sort this out and then I'll explain exactly what happened. I completely misread the chart.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, when you have time, let me know the reason for the go off.
Too high and no visual. Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, roger. Expect on of approach 1834.
Roger, could we get vectors please back to the start of the approach?
You going to go all the way to the start?
No, we can take the start from Kilo Romeo 601.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, roger.
So I just need to reduce my workload management at the moment. So we're going to fly the south heading and I want to head back to Kilo Romeo 601 as we've just said. We've got up nice and safe to 4,000 feet, but I'm also aware that the minimum safe altitude at this point is 8,200. Missed approach altitude was 4,000, that's to get us back to BedX. However, that would be if we were flying the missed approach track, which we're not, because that's not built into the sim at the moment.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, fly heading 150.
150 Alpine 97 Uniform Victor. big schoolboy error. For anyone who's got the charts, has anyone spotted it yet? And I was looking at it thinking, this doesn't make sense. Why doesn't this make sense? Who's going to tell me what went wrong and why?
Another flat level because of turbulence.
I'm sorry, because I was calling, I stepped away.
Interesting that my flight plan's now completely disappeared.
Aircraft that was calling, Athena radar.
I think we're also getting some wind injections as well, which is why the altitude's...
Uniform Victor descent 3,000 feet.
3,000 feet, Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Athena radar, Lima Golf 5. Can we go direct Kilo Echo Alpha?
Challenger Lima Golf 5, direct Kia.
Cuba, there you go. Yeah, we missed the descent to 1,700 feet. And you know what? The reason we missed that, apart from me not reading the chart, was we didn't brief it. It never once in my brief did I mention that.
Lufthansa 20 Tango, can you make it 340? Lufthansa 20 Tango, descend flat level 340.
This one's also 2E40, 2 thank you.
Lufthansa 20 Tango, you said it's just for winds, right? Any turbulence at that level?
Yes, I have...
I could really do with a flight plan.
90 knots from the side.
Roger.
Turkish 61 at November Tango, number Bravo 053 crossing Pushback south.
Turkish 51 November Tango, push start approved facing north.
Pushing started approved facing north 61 at November Tango.
Cat 8566, runway vacated, runway 35. 380, direct left turn.
Blocked.
So I'm just waiting for ATC to give us some directions now.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor, turn right heading 300.
Right heading 300, Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Athena radar, good afternoon, Swiss 1822, level 380, direct left turn.
Swiss 1822, Athena radar. Radar contact for direction of flight, all levers required. Give me flight level 370, flight level 390.
I would take
Okay, I've got the approach back in, so let's start slowing down.
Descend level 370.
Descend level 370, Swiss 1822. Athena, good afternoon, Olympic 905, level 360.
Olympic 905, Athena radar, radar contact, cleared barracks 3 Alpha arrival.
Tip Alex 3 Alpha arrival, Olympic 905.
It's not slowing down.
Alpha 97 Uniform Victor, direct Kilo Romeo 601, cleared RNAV approach on 834.
Cleared RNAV approach and turning direct, Kilo Romeo 601 for runway 34, Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Tower 662 Foxtrot Victor, descend 3,000 feet.
Slowing down now to green dot.
005.
We'll go direct to 601.
3,000 feet, QNH 1005, touristic 62 Foxtrot Victor.
Speed alt star nav.
Agent 976, request pushback engine stop.
Agent 976, push start approved facing north.
Roger, push and stop, roof is enough, Agent 976.
So after passing 601, we need to get down to 1,700. We didn't brief that, which is why it all went pear-shaped. Flaps 1, speeds checked, flaps 1.
Teacher Walker, Athena radar will be back in 1 minute. Athena radar is back.
Okay, let's get flaps 2 out as well in a moment. The clouds have just broken as well. This is much nicer. I'm very cautious of the time as well. Yeah, what a stupid mistake that was. Okay, flaps 2, speeds checked, flaps 2. And we're going to get down to 1,700. Then we're going to start our final descent at Kilo Romeo 600, and then we shouldn't have a problem. Approach checklist. So, seatbelt signs are on, brief is confirmed. Minimum 770, engine motor selector is normal, EFB is stowed.
566, thank you for your service.
Cathay 566, thanks for flying today.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
So down to 1,700. Okay, I'm going to start slowing down. Gear down. Spoilers are armed.
Position gear to and 3 request, Salas and Pushback.
2,500.
Cadet 73 Delta Golf.
Flaps 3.
Radar.
Speeds checked, flaps 3.
QNH1001.
2,500.
Roger.
51 and November Tango.
2,500.
Runway 21 left.
Roger, stand by.
2,000.
Alpha 97 Uniform Victor, report when you have the airfield on site.
We'll report when visual. Alpine 97 Uniform Victor.
Turkish 51 November Tango, taxi only runway 21 left.
Speed Alt Star coming up at 1,700 feet now. Peter, thank you so much. Better late than never. Yeah, much better approach this time. We're actually at the altitude we should be. I'll tell you what gave it away, aside from the fact that we were far too high and the navigation display wasn't making any sense to me whatsoever. But when we're going down, we're cross-referencing with these, and I'm thinking, we're nowhere near those. Something's gone very wrong. Yeah. Oh, wrong one. There we go. And pull. Down we go. Should we try again?
Good afternoon, you're transfer 837, information Alpha.
I see runway lights, flaps full.
At Athens, aircraft type A300, clearance please, flight 6.
I'm sorry, aircraft that's calling Casanoli?
Landing checklist. Cabin is secured. Auto thrust speed. Go on altitude 4,000 blue is set. Eco memo landing no blue.
Initial climb 7,000 feet. Squawk 7261.
Clear to Leipzig by the Christoph 2 Foxtrot departure, runway 21 left.
There's the runway.
Initial climb flight with 70 and squawk 7261, Eurotrans 7837.
Alpine 97 Uniform Victor has the runway in sight.
Aircraft that was talking, you stepped over me. Go ahead.
97 Uniform Victor has runway in sight.
Up on 97 Uniform Victor, wind 240 right now, it's runway 34 clear line.
Clear to land, 97 Uniform Victor.
100 above.
So let's get her on that centre line now. We're happy, we're clear.
Hello, 541 Heavy at Dina Radar, squawk 7274.
Seven 500.
Agent 976 requires taxi to departure runway.
Not too sure about those pappies.
62 Foxtrot Victor, cleared on over approach runway 27, report fuel inside.
Clear them for approach 27, runway inside to the 662 Foxtrot Victor.
Got a wind coming off that left-hand side.
Cleared NMS 1 Alpha arrival.
Cleared NMS 1 Alpha arrival for Swiss 1822.
97 please request taxi to departure runway.
Engine 9076 taxi on runway 2 on left via Echo Delta 5 Delta.
20. 10.
Roger, taxi to departure runway via Echo Delta 5 Delta, Agent 976.
Hello, 541 Heavy, radar.
Okay, our spoilers are deployed. Reverse green. Decel. Reverses off.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the fasten seatbelt sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls or internet access may now be used. Please make sure that you take all your personal belongings with you, checking in the seat pocket, underneath the seat and in the overhead lockers. Do take care when opening the lockers in case anything falls out.
KJ 73 Delta Golf,
Until you reach a designated smoking area.
Actually, what direction are you facing?
Crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your
KJ 73 Delta Golf, taxi via Alpha, Alpha 2, and a backtrack on avoid runway 19er.
Check out our official Facebook page, Twitter, or EasyJet app.
Okay, I need to park her up. I need to go on the school run.
How's the weather coming in?
Was that call for us? Was that for an Alpine 97 uniform, Victor?
Hey, firm.
97 uniform, Victor. Yeah, fine. Cloud base is above the minimum, so should have no issues.
Appreciate it, thanks.
Okay guys, I do really have to shoot. The reason that was offset when we came in, that was fine, that was normal. It was a 5-degree offset, so yeah, you come in not aligned, and then you break off and align with the center line when you can. Right, sadly I really do have to go. Thank you so much guys. Even after the go around, oh good lord, that's not right. Even after the go around, we managed to get in somewhat safely. That's going to be one hell of a debrief. Thanks for watching guys. I shall see you all again very soon. Have a great Thursday. Bye bye.